Welcome. Today, we're diving into 10 fascinating facts about the United Kingdom that might surprise you. The United Kingdom, UK, is one of the most historically rich and globally influential countries in the world. Situated off the northwestern coast of mainland Europe, it consists of 4 nations: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, each with its own identity, traditions, and history. Despite their differences, these nations share a common political and cultural bond under one monarchy and one government. The UK's population of over 67 million people live within a landscape that combines modern innovation with centuries of heritage. From the rolling hills of the Scottish Highlands to the bustling streets of London, and from the industrial cities of northern England to the rugged coastlines of Wales and Northern Ireland, the UK's diversity is one of its defining features. The influence of the UK extends far beyond its borders. English is a global language. British political institutions have inspired democracies worldwide, and its artists, scientists, and thinkers have profoundly shaped global culture and knowledge. This article explores 10 key facts about the United Kingdom, each highlighting a different aspect of its fascinating story, from history and politics to culture and innovation. Together, these facts provide a well-rounded understanding of why the UK remains such an important and captivating nation in the modern world. Fact 1. The formation of the United Kingdom and its nations. The United Kingdom's structure is unique. It is a union of 4 countries that share one central government while maintaining distinct identities. The story of how this union came about is complex, spanning centuries of conquest, compromise, and cooperation. The first step occurred in the 16th century, when Wales was formally united with England through the Laws and Wales Acts of 1535 and 1542 during the reign of King Henry VIII. This integration brought Wales under English law and administration, though the Welsh language and culture endured. In 1603, a major turning point came when King James VI of Scotland inherited the English throne, becoming James I of England. This union of the crowns meant that England and Scotland shared a monarch, though they remained politically separate. Over a century later, in 1707, the Acts of Union created the Kingdom of Great Britain, merging the 2 countries' parliaments. The union promised economic benefits, stronger defense, and greater stability. In 1801, Ireland joined the partnership, forming the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. However, centuries of political and religious tensions led to Ireland's partition in 1921. The South became the Irish Free State, later the Republic of Ireland, while Northern Ireland remained part of the UK, creating the modern United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Today, each nation retains its own cultural and political institutions. The UK's devolved governments, the Scottish Parliament, Welsh Senate, and Northern Ireland Assembly, manage local affairs such as health, education, and transport, while the UK Parliament in Westminster oversees national matters like defence and foreign policy. This arrangement allows unity and individuality to coexist, a key part of the UK's enduring identity. Fact 2. The British monarchy and its modern role. The British monarchy is one of the most recognizable institutions in the world. It traces its origins back over 1,000 years, making it one of the oldest continuous monarchies in existence. Though its powers have evolved over time, the monarchy remains a central symbol of national unity and tradition. Historically, British monarchs held immense political power. Kings and queens ruled as sovereigns, making laws, commanding armies, and controlling the state. However, over centuries, particularly after the English Civil War, 1642 to 1651, and the Glorious Revolution of 1688, their powers were gradually limited by Parliament. This process transformed Britain into a constitutional monarchy, where the monarch reigns but does not rule. Today, the monarch's role is largely ceremonial. The king or queen is the head of state, representing the nation at home and abroad. But the prime minister and parliament hold political power. The monarch opens and dissolves parliament, approves laws, a formality known as royal assent, and meets weekly with the prime minister. Despite its limited political role, the monarchy has deep cultural and emotional significance. Events like royal weddings, coronations, and jubilees attract worldwide attention, strengthening Britain's global image. The royal family also supports hundreds of charities and community initiatives, reflecting the monarchy's adaptation to modern expectations. Critics argue that the monarchy is outdated and expensive, but polls show that many Britons still view it as a vital link to history and identity. The monarchy's ability to evolve, maintaining tradition while embracing change, has helped it remain relevant in a modern, democratic society. Fact 3. The UK's parliamentary democracy. One of Britain's most important contributions to the world is its system of parliamentary democracy. The UK Parliament, based in the Palace of Westminster, is among the oldest representative assemblies in the world. It consists of two houses, the House of Commons, made up of elected members of Parliament, MPs, and the House of Lords, composed of appointed and hereditary members. The roots of Parliament go back to the 13th century, when kings began summoning nobles and representatives to discuss taxation and laws. Over time, these gatherings evolved into a powerful legislative body that could challenge the monarchy. The signing of the Magna Carta in 1215 established that even the king was subject to the law, a principle that remains fundamental to British democracy. Today, the UK follows a constitutional monarchy with a parliamentary system. Citizens elect MPs through general elections, usually held every 5 years. The leader of the majority party in the House of Commons becomes the Prime Minister, who governs with a cabinet of ministers. Parliament is not only a legislative body, but also a symbol of democratic ideals. Many countries, including Canada, India, and Australia, have modeled their political systems on Britain's parliamentary structure. The famous adversarial layout of the Commons, where government and opposition face each other across a narrow divide, reflects the value placed on open debate and accountability. Fact 4. The British Empire and its global legacy. At its height, the British Empire was the largest empire in history, covering roughly 1/4 of the world's land surface and population. Beginning in the late century, British explorers, traders, and settlers established colonies across the Americas, Africa, Asia, and the Pacific. The empire spread not only political control, but also culture, technology, and language. English became a global lingua franca, while British legal and educational systems influenced nations worldwide. However, the empire's expansion was also marked by exploitation, inequality, and the suppression of local cultures. The history of the empire is thus both one of achievement and controversy. The decline of the empire began after World War II, as colonies gained independence. India achieved freedom in 1947, followed by many others in Africa, the Caribbean, and Asia. This process of decolonization led to the creation of the Commonwealth of Nations, a voluntary association of independent countries, most of which were once part of the empire. Today, the UK's empire has transformed into a network of partnerships based on shared history and cooperation. While the empire's legacy is debated with ongoing discussions about reparations, cultural identity, and historical accountability, its impact on the modern world is undeniable. Fact 5. The Industrial Revolution and Britain's Innovation. The Industrial Revolution, which began in Britain in the late 18th century, changed the course of human history. Before this period, most people worked in agriculture, and goods were made by hand. Britain's innovations in technology, manufacturing, and transportation transformed society and the global economy. Key inventions included the steam engine, improved by James Watt, spinning and weaving machines, and later the railway system, which revolutionized travel and trade. Coal and iron became vital resources, powering factories and fueling the growth of cities like Manchester, Birmingham, and Glasgow. The Industrial Revolution made Britain the workshop of the world. It spurred urbanization, created new jobs, and increased production. However, it also brought challenges: overcrowded cities, pollution, and harsh working conditions for laborers and children. These issues inspired later social reforms, including workers' rights and public health initiatives. Britain's industrial leadership laid the foundation for modern technology and globalization. The innovations of this period continue to influence how people work, live, and connect today. Fact 6. The UK's cultural exports: language, literature, and music. The UK's cultural influence extends around the globe. The English language is perhaps its most significant export, spoken by over 1.5 billion people worldwide. It serves as the primary language of business, science, and international communication. British literature has shaped global imagination. Writers like William Shakespeare, Charles Dickens, Jane Austen, J.R.R. Tolkien, and George Orwell produced works that continue to inspire readers everywhere. The UK is also home to modern cultural icons like J.K. Rowling, whose Harry Potter series became a worldwide phenomenon. In music, the UK has been a global trendsetter for decades. Bands and artists such as the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Queen, David Bowie, Adele, and Ed Sheeran have defined entire generations. The British music industry continues to thrive, blending traditional and modern influences. British culture also dominates film, television, and fashion. Global franchises like James Bond, Doctor Who, and Downton Abbey are watched worldwide. This creative output not only entertains but also reflects Britain's ability to adapt and lead in cultural innovation. Fact 7. The National Health Service, NHS, and Social Welfare. The National Health Service, NHS, founded in 1948, is one of Britain's proudest achievements. It was established after World War II to provide free health care to all citizens, funded through taxation. The idea was revolutionary. that good health should be a right, not a privilege. The NHS covers everything from general practice and emergency care to surgeries and prescriptions. It employs over 1 million people, making it one of the largest healthcare organizations in the world. Despite challenges such as funding pressures and long waiting times, the NHS remains deeply valued by the British public. The NHS is part of a broader welfare state, which also includes education, housing, and social security. Together, these systems aim to reduce inequality and ensure that all citizens have access to essential services. The creation of the NHS reflected Britain's post-war vision of fairness and solidarity, principles that continue to define the nation's social values today. Fact 8. Immigration and multiculturalism in modern Britain. Modern Britain is a multicultural society shaped by centuries of migration. From the Roman and Viking invasions to the arrival of Caribbean, South Asian, and African communities after World War II, the UK has long been a crossroads of cultures. In the 20th century, large waves of immigration came from Commonwealth countries. People from Jamaica, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Nigeria settled in cities like London, Birmingham, and Manchester, enriching the nation's culture, cuisine, and workforce. Today, more than 14% of the UK population was born abroad. British society celebrates diversity through festivals, food, art, and religion. Cities like London are among the most cosmopolitan in the world, with hundreds of languages spoken daily. However, immigration has also sparked political debates over integration, identity, and border policy. Despite these challenges, multiculturalism remains one of Britain's greatest strengths, a reflection of its openness and global connections. Fact 9. The UK's relationship with Europe and Brexit. The UK's relationship with Europe has always been complex. Though geographically close, Britain has often seen itself as separate from the European continent. In 1973, the UK joined the European Economic Community, AEC, which later became the European Union, AU. Membership brought economic and political cooperation, but also controversy. Critics argued that EU laws limited British sovereignty, while supporters said membership boosted trade and global influence. These tensions culminated in the 2016 Brexit referendum, in which 52% voted to leave the EU. After years of negotiation, the UK officially left the EU in 2020. Brexit reshaped the UK's trade, immigration policies, and political relationships. It also reignited debates about the unity of the UK itself, particularly in Scotland, where many voted to remain in the EU. While Brexit created uncertainty, it also marked a new chapter in Britain's history, one focused on redefining its role in a rapidly changing world. Fact 10. The UK's environmental and scientific contributions. The United Kingdom has long been at the forefront of scientific discovery and environmental leadership. From Isaac Newton's laws of motion to Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, British scientists have transformed our understanding of the universe. In the modern era, the UK continues to lead in fields such as genetics, climate research, and renewable energy. Institutions like Oxford, Cambridge, and Imperial College London are global centers of innovation. British researchers played key roles in developing the COVID-19 vaccine, showcasing the country's ongoing scientific excellence. The UK is also active in environmental policy. It was one of the first major nations to commit to net zero carbon emissions by 2050. Programs promoting clean energy, recycling, and wildlife protection reflect a growing awareness of the need for sustainability. These efforts demonstrate that Britain's tradition of innovation continues, not just in technology, but in shaping a greener and more sustainable future. Conclusion. The United Kingdom's story is one of resilience, creativity, and evolution. From the formation of its union to the rise and fall of its empire, from the Industrial Revolution to the modern multicultural society it is today, the UK has continually adapted to changing times while maintaining a strong sense of identity. Its democratic institutions, cultural achievements, scientific contributions, and global influence make it one of the most significant nations in human history. Yet the UK is not just a relic of the past, it is a dynamic, forward-looking country that continues to shape the future through innovation, compassion, and cultural power. Whether admired for its literature, politics, music, or science, the United Kingdom remains a symbol of how history, diversity, and creativity can come together to form a nation that stands the test of time. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the UK. If you enjoyed these facts, don't forget to follow for more intriguing stories.